Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Real Hacker Hours podcast. This is basically where I just do the normal work I would in side projects. I just hit the record button. None of this is rehearsed, so you will definitely see a lot of smooth brain accidents and mistakes. So getting back to where we were. Right now, I'm reversing out Apache modules. I want to understand a lot of the functionality behind them because I'm kind of right now, my project is reversing Apache and just understand how all of the internals work under the hood. That being said, Apache is kind of made with this model like modularity where various functionalities are encapsulated into a module that Apache can import. Right now, what I hope to do is reverse out one of the modules. Okay. Excuse me, I had to burp. Yeah, reverse out one of the modules and understand how the module itself works and how it interfaces with Apache, and that should give me a lot of introspection to how modules work under the hood. The module I have chosen to reverse is mod alias. What aliasing does is it basically you have like a web page like here, you have this web page right here, you're giving it a different name that can be accessed like here. Um yeah. I chose this module because I kind of just, well, there's some guesswork involved with why I chose this. First off, if we look, so when I compiled Apache, these are all the files that were generated from compilation. If you look under modules, these are all the modules generated and mod alias was generated. So we have, and also since we compiled it here, I'll just show you real quick. We also have the source code for it. Yeah, we have a source code for a bunch of those. Let me see if I can't show you the exact file for mod alias. Just brushed my mic. I'm sorry for that. Mod alias. Alias step. Okay, it's in there. I'm not going to spend more time searching for a source code file that I know is there, even though I'll probably need to look at it once I begin reversing. Oh well, problem for 5 minutes from now. That being said, okay, cool. And also, I went through and looked at all of the modules that are loaded, and it is indeed being loaded. And I'll show it to you right now. Actually, first, do I have Apache running? I feel like I do. I do. Good thing I checked first. I should probably write like a quick bash script to do this. So just kill that process. Cool. I was going to kill the G2B process because I shouldn't need that. Cool. I'm going to kill the two Vim instances. Oh. 3150, 35. Oh, wait, no. Okay, cool. So no more Apache processes and no more like Vim instances editing Apache conf files. Cool. So we open up HTTPD. Let's set a breakpoint for load module. We run it, and we see auth file module. If we go there long enough, basic module filter, line log, environment version, Unix status, auto indexer, alias module. So alias, yeah, just showed you as being loaded. So I think, and also the last reason is one model I can potentially see for how mod alias works is when a request comes in for a specific path, it will just check then in there, hey, is this alias is something? And if it is, cool, just redirect. And if that is how it works, then I should be able to effectively get code within the mod alias module running on command easily, which will be very helpful for reversing it. So let's just go ahead, delete one. Cool. That being said, next thing is we need to open up the source code file. So let's fire open Sublime Text. Of course, there's a million instances. I'm just going to close out some of these so I don't have a million tabs everywhere. There's probably a keyboard shortcut for this, but oh well. Cool, so this is just some docs I've written about Apache modular, well, how the functionality within it works. So if I just think I have module loading listed. But yeah, let's find, okay, cool. So how are we going to find the source code file? Let's go to the Apache source file. So it's definitely in one of here. ARch proxy loggers experimental. Let's just try gripping for alias. Grep mod proxy mod mappers. Is that? And yep, mod alias.c. Cool, so this appears to be it, so let's open it up. Apache source, modules, mappers, where is it? Mod alias.c. Cool, so here's the source code file. It is not that bad, only 730 lines. Register hooks, fix up redirect and translate alias redirect. This looks interesting. So a bit about how modules work. I learned this through just Googling some stuff yesterday. So modules, at least this is part of the functionality, as I understand, might not be all of it, it might be all of it, will have these things called hooks registers. Thing is, when Apache processes a request, there are several stages like, oh, hey, we just got one, we're in the middle of processing it, we're done. And what a module can do when it's loaded is it registers hooks. So like, let's say like you're in the middle of processing it, okay, cool, we can like call a function that will have some functionality. So this right here, translate alias redirect, it's hooked in APR hook middle. Roughly, I know it's like in the, just from like the name, it's in like the middle of the request processing sequence, but for the exact technicality, I'd probably need to go read up on Google. But let's just take a look at this function. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can't break on here. So, oh, first off, I configured in my Apache conf. Let's see if I can't pull it up for a second. I'm going to pull it up here. Hackery Apache conf http.conf alias. Yeah, I aliased /y to this file right here, which when we look at it, let's just copy and paste it. Actually, so here, hold on a second. This Oh, I forgot that. So, wait, did I just smooth brain it? Cat Y. I think I might have smooth brained this. Let's see, does this work? That works. Cool. Does this work? Yes. Okay, cool. So, we can see here. Actually, I'm just going to restart Apache just to make sure there isn't some. I'm pretty sure it's working, but not 100%. I don't want to mess myself up there. Grep HTTPD. Should really write a batch script to do this for me. Right now I'm just killing all of the HTTPD processes, so don't have to. So I can rerun Apache, since if you already have an instance of it running, it won't let you run another one. Four one six one. 162, 3, 4. Okay, cool. And now I'm gonna rerun it again. CPD. Cool. And let's. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. It is running. The alias is clearly working since it's redirecting Y to X. And just one more thing, just to make absolutely sure, we can edit X. And I'm gonna put the lyrics of the song I am listening to there. Cool. That being said, let's try. Okay, cool. Yeah, this 100% confirms it beyond a shadow of doubt that is working. So, next step, let's attach debuggers to the various Apache worker processes. Let's get those. HTTPD. So, here they are. You can tell that they're the worker processes since they're running as daemon, not root. Let's fire up our 3 terminals. Could also script this out too with a simple bash script or something like that. Okay, let's attach 4617, 4618, and attach 4619. Cool, so I've attached all the worker processes. Let's make sure that no new ones were created, no new ones were created. Cool. We should be able to wget ourselves, and nothing should be returned. Cool, that is what we expect. Now let's set the breakpoint. Translate alias redirection. Let's first make sure that it can resolve the symbol. It can. This should be a part of the mod alias module. Which it is. That is good. Cool. Let's set a breakpoint for this. Break at there. Continue. Okay, got hit a few times. Okay, got hit again. Excellent. Backtrace. Okay, cool. So one thing that we are seeing here in action is, I know a few days ago, this might have been in a previous podcast episode, I briefly reversed out the process for how our request is actually processed. And in it, we saw a call stack similar to this. Definitely saw like run process connection, process HTTP async request, request internal. And then now we're seeing a module hooks being ran as a part of that. So we're seeing the hooking in action. Now, okay, cool. So we know definitely that this function is ran. Let's take a look at the source code, briefly scan it to see if we can't understand what's going on here. Okay, cool. So here it gets the conf, not 100% excuse me, I need to burp. Ate a lot earlier. Not sure exactly what 100% of the content in there yet is. I need to look at the struct. Since there's a ton of information in Apache configs. If try redirect, try alias list does not equal. So if try redirect does not equal to, so rent is equal to output of try redirect. If it does not equal to no, or try alias list does not equal to no, run this function. Okay, so what's looking like to me is there are 3 functions here that are responsible for just like checking, is this something that we can alias or redirect or something like that. Those 3 functions are try redirect, try alias list, and try alias. And also try alias. Yeah, I missed that line, but that function is already covered up there. That being said, if they return null, that means that they cannot. And if they cannot, then realistically this function just returns declined. Cool. Let's see. Okay. It takes a request, which is a struct, which holds actual request data, but holds a ton more stuff, which I forget what the struct is, so I'm not going to be able to just pull it up, but I'm confident that either try redirect, try alias list, or try alias is going to return a not null value, since we requested a value that should be aliased. So I'm just going to right now step through and see which of those functions actually will not return null. Step. It's going to be... I could just set null, not set null, set a breakpoint for this calls, but unless if there's what is this? I'm pretty sure this is a forward slash. Okay, it's a forward slash. So what this check right here it's doing is it's just this check right here. So if the first thing of URI is not a slash or whatever, and so checking if the first character of the URI submitted is not a slash and it's not a null byte. Wait. No, it's here. This check, it's checking that either... That's checking if the first byte of the URI, if it is... Wait. If... Okay, no, that check is not important. I'm not going to get hung up on it. It's late. Try redirect. Cool. Let's see what it returns. Rex returns null. Cool. Kind of expected that. Because this is an alias, I expected it to be either like alias or alias list. Let's see if it's alias list. Oh, we see the request right here on the stack get /y. Cool. Let's finish. And is this null? It is null. Cool. Now it's going to jump to try alias. Try alias. Let's see. Does this not return null? I'm confident this won't return null. But let's test my assumption. My assumption was wrong. A return null. There was one more function call. Let's see. So that did not return null. So in the source code, what happened? This check was not ran. Tried this return null, this return null, and this return null. This did not return null. Looking at the call for here and here, we can see that the difference here is the aliases. Oh, okay, there are a few differences. Arguments 2 and 3 are different. Regardless, we could see here that effectively what happens here is the request file name, which probably is the file name being requested by HTTP is just set to the return value. So wait, let's check here. What is this doing? Error. Oh, okay, so look, I was just like, for a second it looked like all of this was error. Yeah, just error messages, but no. What's happening here? If this runs, this checks if this is an error check right here. This right here is a check. If these two blocks here are error blocks, you can tell that from the fact that if this runs, wait, no. Only thing in this block, there's AP log error, which if this block runs, that function has to run, so that's most definitely an error block. Same thing here. This, however, doesn't have any error messages, so it's probably the block that actually does work. Looking at it, we can see it takes the return and like appends it. Append request query only. Okay, maybe to the header or something, I'm not sure. Okay, cool, I've been rambling. Let's take a look at try alias list. What does this actually do? So it takes the request, a header of aliases is redirect, and the status. Cool. Okay, so it's there. Let's just briefly scan through it. Aliases, notes. It appears to iterate through each of the. This is okay. This function extends all the way through. It appears to. Oh, okay, cool. I was just looking at return statements for a second. Yeah, this for loop is the main chunk of this function. Iterates through each of the aliases. Looks like first check is if regex can be used. Picks up URI parse. Okay, cool. And if not, if alias matches, alias fake. So roughly what it looks like, this block of code here appears to deal with regex, or aliases that could be parsed with regex. And for those of you that don't know, regex is effectively just a tool that you can use to like form queries that can easily parse through large sections of text in unique ways that are extremely helpful. Google it if you don't know. This method right here appears to parse through it the normal way. Alias matches. And if found, it will return Okay. Give me a second to look this over. Okay, cool. So looking at this, it returns a char pointer, which kind of makes sense because looking at the previous function, we saw that this return value, the file name is set equal to this return, so it makes sense it's returning a char pointer. This if then statement right here will run if it's found and effectively just return the found string. So in closing, what this function will do, iterate through each of the aliases. These two chunks right here are responsible for just checking, hey, is this alias the URL we're looking for? This right here will check if a module is, well, not a module, a URI is aliasable via regex. Don't know how that's configured off the top of my head. This one will just check using like more traditional just string comparison methods. This block here will run if it actually gets a match, it just returns the string, and if that none of those hit, it just returns null. Cool. That being said, okay, cool. So, in conclusion, how the reversing functionality of this works, as we've seen, just through reversing this, is the module will set a hook for, I believe, like in the middle of the request processing sequence. When a packet is received halfway through, this hook will be called calling the translate alias. Actually, we can just double check that this is the right one. Translate alias redirect. It'll call that function, which will then call several of the functions to check, hey, with our current aliases and redirects that we set up in the configuration file, does this match into them? It does. Cool. Go ahead and in this case, it will just set the file name equal to whatever the new one is, and here appears to do some sort of concatenation. Not quite sure. And yeah. Also, yeah, the file name is stored in the request struct, which is passed in. I'm kind of curious. Okay, what it fix up redirect. I'm not 100% sure of this, but I believe that for all of the hook functions, the standard is they take a single argument, which is the request record pointer to that struct. Don't quote me on that, could be wrong. But yeah, for now we've reversed out at least that aliasing functionality of the Apache module. I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you and see you later.